The ABC meteorologist Tom Saunders joins us now. Tom, g'day. We were speaking to a woman up near Wudjil at Bloomfield, which is basically a couple of k's apart from each other. It's just on the border of where the destructive winds were about to be hitting, according to the latest Bureau map. But it was super calm there. But presumably over the next couple of hours in a place like that, it's going to get pretty gnarly.
Yeah, Joe, that's interesting. You're saying it's super calm. It's possible, it's quite a large eye, this system. It's possible the eye is already starting to move over, but we'll have a look at the radar in a second and that'll probably give us the answer. Look, this is what we've seen so far today. Wind gusts 140 kilometres per hour near the eye. Now, the strongest that's actually been observed in Queensland is 113 kilometres per hour, but we don't have weather stations everywhere, so they would be stronger near the centre. So far today, up to 48 millimetres of rain has been falling per hour. And since 9 a.m, some parts of the Mulgrave catchment have seen over 100 millimetres, so we're seeing the river levels rise in that area. And just off Cairns, we've had waves up to 4 metres. Now, there's no buoys further north, closer to Port Douglas, where we're probably seeing waves closer to around the 6 metre mark. We'll have a look at the satellite then. We can see the system approaching. It is now less than 50 kilometres off the coast. It's moving towards the coast at 50 kilometres per hour. So landfall will start to take place.
You said it's moving towards the coast at 50 kilometres now.
10 kilometres per hour. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, so let's have a look. There's the eye. So you can see there the eye where there isn't any rainfall right near the centre. So I'm thinking perhaps Wudjil is starting to just get the edge of the eye starting to cross. Here are some of the totals we've had since 9 a.m. Cooktown 15. Low Isles has had 44 millimetres. That's right near Port Douglas. Cairns 23, Mareeba 13 and South Johnston 27 millimetres of rain has fallen there since 9 a.m, Joe.
And so what are going to be the hazards through the night?
There's a few hazards. Now, firstly, of course, you've got the destructive winds from a Category 2. It will weaken fairly rapidly, so as it moves inland, we'll start to see the winds ease back. Now, as the winds ease back, the swell, the seas will also rapidly start to decay. But as the system moves through the inland part of Cape York tomorrow, it's triggered a severe weather warning. That's the yellow area there for damaging wind gusts and flash flooding. So we'll still get severe weather into tomorrow for some of these inland areas, but not technically from a tropical cyclone. But definitely over the next few hours, as it does cross the coast, you're looking at those winds that could lead to power outages, structural damage and also vegetation damage. Rainfall, though, because it's a weak system, it's probably the rainfall that's the key concern. The heaviest falls are likely actually to come still over the next few hours. That's indicated by the darker reds. Now, we've heard about this up to 500 millimetres of rain. That area is from Cooktown to Port Douglas, but up to 350 millimetres in a 24-hour period is possible down to the Ingham area as well. So this is looking at the forecast rain over the next 12 hours. And you can see we'll still have very heavy rainfall early tomorrow near the coastline, along with the very heavy rain near the centre of the system. Let's keep going through tomorrow. The heaviest rain shifting towards the west over the inland part of Cape York. Notice it's easing back on the coast. Doesn't clear. We'll still have heavy rain and storms into even Friday morning along that coastline, but that red shading then moving further inland tomorrow, Joe.
And what's the possibility that it's going to redevelop into a cyclone when it gets into the Gulf of Carpentaria?
Well, it's looking pretty likely at some point, but not initially, but it really could hit anywhere, that second crossing, if it happens from the Kimberley to Cape York. And I'll show you a couple of scenarios right now. So here is the system moving out into the Gulf, still forecast to remain as a tropical low. That's through the weekend, heading fairly steadily towards the west, but there's a huge amount of uncertainty where it tracks. It's very unlikely to track exactly where it's indicated here on this one particular model. Some models have it this weekend making a U-turn heading back towards Cape York.
No way.
And they do, and others have it moving further towards the west. What I'm going to show you now, it's not a Bureau forecast, but this is called a strike probability map. It's based on 100 different runs of a particular model and all the outcomes that are possible. Now, I could have picked any day next week, but I've gone with Thursday the 21st. You can see here, potentially we'll have a tropical cyclone impacting Cape York, potentially the Kimberley. The most likely area will be somewhere over the top end. Will it be the Arnhem District? Will it be the western top end near Darwin? We're just going to have to wait and see, Joe.
So, just confirming that, there is a slight possibility that this does a U-turn in the Gulf and heads back towards Cape York as a cyclone, with cyclone strength?
Yes, absolutely. So this map is showing a cyclone strength tropical system and where we could see those strong gusts. And I have seen some of the models, I have seen that U-turn heading right back towards Cape York.
OK, thanks so much, Tom.
Cheers.